We are on, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. I was trying to triple stream. Unfortunately, I need a premium account on X, which is what I'm going to do. So hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, the next time I am live, I will be triple streaming. So last 24 hours, absolutely bonkers again. We've had Donald Trump now coming out saying, we're gonna threaten the U.S. We've got the whole U.S. military, the likes the world has never seen. Do you know what, guys? I can't actually remember what he said, but I have got the articles up. We're going to read about that for you guys. Escalating conflicts in the Middle East moving forwards. It does look like now, by the hour, the U.S. military are going to get dragged into that. Conflict. So, if you're in the United States, as I've always said in this channel, the United States, the Middle East is going to be your main intent. And if you live in the United Kingdom, Eastern Europe, the war in Ukraine is going to be your main intent. Main event. So guys, listen, as we're all sat here trying to figure out what's happening, just consider that all these little things that don't seem to be related are leading towards a summer of carnage, which is going to be inland United Kingdom this summer. Now, some people are saying it's already broken out. I was of a fire at a mosque. Last week there was civil unrest and vehicles being burnt out in Manchester. Also, we're looking at like now almost a week of mad protests in Northern Ireland, which again is part of the United Kingdom. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's just get into that. And if you're watching and you like this content and you've not done so already, whether you're watching on YouTube or whether you're watching later on YouTube, remember, guys, listen, I thought we were so close today. We were so close today to triple streaming, but I don't think we're not doing it now. But I think the next time I do a live stream, we will be hitting the holy trinity of live streaming on TikTok, YouTube, and X simultaneously. Remember, guys, all these videos get uploaded. I'm double streaming. All these videos will be uploaded to YouTube. But before we get on, I know I just kind of went off on a tangent. Can you like, follow, comment, subscribe? Buttons down below, buttons up at the side. Press those buttons, guys, that help this channel grow. Because ultimately, your fantastic fingers are the only reason that this channel grows. And remember, guys, listen, we tell you on this channel, I like to tell you what's coming next. I've seen a lot of people, in fact, guys, put it in the comments if you've seen this as well. There's lots of people now are deciding to cover in this conflict in the Middle East. And all they're doing is putting a picture behind them of like some missiles and some explosions and stuff and regurgitating mainstream media news. That's not telling you anything. That's not telling you how, why, what comes next, how it's going to affect you if you live in the United Kingdom, how it's going to affect you if you live in the United States, how it's going to affect you if you live in Europe, because all these things, guys, are interconnected. Remember, the United States cannot break their spear in Ukraine. They said this like 20, I think 22, one of the United States, a congressman came out and he said, the United States, we can't break our spear in the Ukraine. And they always, the Americans say in the Ukraine, it's not the Ukraine, it's just Ukraine. We can't break our spear in the Ukraine when there's global conflicts brewing all over the world. Like, you know, and all this stuff's out there, readily available for us to digest. Right, let me jump up here, guys. Let me jump up here and get these comments. Lots of people joining. Guys, can you share the live as well, whatever platform you're watching on? Claire over on YouTube is saying good morning. I'm saying good morning to you, Claire, as well. And SJ is saying good morning as well. SJ also says, it does feel very controlled what we're seeing and being told. All right, let me jump up and get these. Right, so got a lot of users with random numbers. I always wonder what, you know, when you see like user and then a load of numbers, I always wonder who they are. Matt's joined, Chloe's joined. Thank you for sharing, guys. Sad but a baddie's joined. Chloe Hewitt saying, morning, Sean. Hope you well. I am absolutely fine this morning, in the best of health, although a little bit concerned about global events. Chloe Hewitt shared the live, thank you. Priv Carol, good morning. Happy Monday, everyone. Yeah, it is Monday, isn't it? I've totally forgot it was Monday. How did I forget it was Monday? Tracy McGregor saying good morning. Debbie Doob saying morning. Sean Cosmic is saying good morning. April, Monday morning. Good morning, everyone. Listen, it's the start of a new week. Are you going to achieve your goals? What goals do you do? Guys, do we all wake up on a Monday morning and think, right, I've got to achieve X, Y, and Z, and then like you try and get through it? And how is it like? How are people? EG News is saying the YouTube is really lagging. I don't know why that is. I don't know why that is. Look, guys, I'm double streaming. I tried to triple stream this morning. I was hoping I could get on X as well, but I need a premium account, so I'm going to have to buy a premium account or get a premium account, whatever it is. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, if you missed part or you need to leave, all these videos will now be uploaded to YouTube. Four Pauses say morning Timsky as well. Debbie Doobs. Oh, right, okay, guys. So let's just get on to this then, guys. Let's just get on to what Donald Trump has been saying. And let's just cast our minds back. Now, let's just cast our minds back. Can you guys remember when everybody was giving me, everybody was throwing comments on my videos saying, oh, Donald Trump's going to have peace in the Middle East. Donald Trump's going to cause, he's going to get a deal with Vladimir Putin. Like right now, guys, in the world, does it look more or less volatile than before Trump was elected? I don't know, guys. Maybe this is just smoke and mirrors, and maybe we are heading to a new peaceful time, or maybe we're not. Right, guys, I'm just going to read you this from the mainstream so you guys can't complain that I'm saying fake news. Trump threatens Iran with retaliation at levels never seen before. American leader says we can easily get a deal done to end the conflict as Israel and Iran bombed each other last night. President Donald Trump has said the United States will retaliate at levels never seen before. We'll retaliate at levels never seen before, never witnessed by humans on this planet, if attacked by Iran. Now, that's the key thing there, guys, okay? If attacked by Iran. What I think, and again, guys, look, this is my speculation. What I think could happen as this conflict moves forwards. In fact, actually, the other day I was talking about the F-35s, what the Israelis have. I found out that the F-35s, they need the F-35 A and B. They need 7.5 hours. Sorry, they need 7.5 hours maintenance for every 1 hour that they're in the sky for. So if they fly a mission for 1 hour, then they're going to need 7.5 hours on the ground conducting maintenance. So yesterday I said I think it's about 7 hours. It's actually 7.5 now. That is the F-35 Alpha and Bravo. The Israelis operate the F-35 the F-35 India. I think it stands for Israeli. I don't know what the scheduling, what the maintenance scheduling on that is. It could be more, it could be less. But you understand now how those aircraft are going to start to reach their service ceiling at some point, and they're going to need to be grounded for servicing, for repairs, for maintenance. What I've said literally all along, ladies and gentlemen, is the air-to-air refueling. It's key in this conflict for the Israelis. Now, I would speculate, and this is my speculation, guys, now. I don't know if this is true. I'm just speculating. That I would speculate, again, that the United States are providing some air-to-air refueling capacity for the Israelis. Now, if this is true, and if it was me and I was the Iranians, I wouldn't go after the F-35s or the aircraft that are coming to send the airstrikes. I'd go after the air-to-air refueling aircraft. Now, if that happens and a United States aircraft is hit, there you have it, guys. Donald Trump has been saying we're going to retaliate at levels never seen before if attacked by Iran. So that's where I think this conflict could lead to. That's what I think this could develop into, whereby a United States military asset is struck, potentially by mistake, potentially misidentification, but there you have it, guys. That's how I think this is going to go. U.S. ally Israel on Friday struck nuclear facilities, top regime officials, military leaders, and key nuclear scientists in Iran on Thursday night. Iran has retaliated with missiles, but does not appear so far to have gone after American targets. So that's what I do think is going to happen, guys. I think this could be by mistake. Right, anyway, let me jump up and get some more comments. Where are we? What was that? Right. Hang on. We've done that one. Timsky, good morning. Debbie Doop saying crazy times. Linda Lewis saying good morning. April, they aren't saying new. The other creators are old news. Yeah, guys, look, on this, so April, so earlier on the live stream, I was just saying how the internet now is an absolute wash of people with like these flashy, like, you know, the flashy picture behind them and like this music on, and they literally just regurgitate what the mainstream media are telling people. We're going to be talking today about what's coming next, how I see this conflict panning out for the next couple of weeks, and then we're going to flip over to the summer of carnage, because remember, guys, Keir Starmer, if you live in the United Kingdom, Keir Starmer has agreed to a national grooming gangs inquiry. It's my opinion that this is never going to see the light of day, guys. It's my opinion this is never going to see the light of day. We're going to come on to that afterwards, though, guys, once I've got down to all these comments and questions. Priv Carol, I see more and more misinformation and people delving more into a lot of topics. Where are we? Thank you, all you guys, for sharing the live. Thank you so much. Hello, hope all is well, says D. Marie. EG News is saying good morning, Sean. Good morning back to you. EG News, a lot more, sadly. I think we're in, what is that in response to that, EG News? Good morning, everyone. Debbie 1973 says, morning, Sammy. Daniel Payne, morning. Corey Reefing, morning, mate. Hope you're good. Guys, yeah, absolutely wild times. Like, we are literally living in history now, guys. We are living in history. Can you guys remember when I first started my TikTok and I used to say, guys, we are heading for a global conflict on an industrial scale? What does it look like now? What does it look like right now? Like, what does it look like? Now, I saw this coming because of the amount of money that was being spent, the amount of a good way, in fact, guys, the chat on, I'm going to come on to YouTube in a minute, but a good way for governments to deflect their own failings is to have a good old-fashioned war. Right, we're failing at home, we're failing financially. How can we keep people happy? How can we keep people occupied? I know what, let's have a war. But yeah, we are literally living in history, guys. D. Marie, do you think they will topple the Iranian regime? Yes, I do think the Iranian regime, guys, listen, this is, so let me pin this. Yes, I do think that is the goal. That's what I think people are. That is what I think people are heading towards. So I do think they're going to. I do think that the Iranian regime is on. Well, how do I put this? I do think the Iranian regime is on limited time, guys. I really do. All it's going to take is, thank you, Tracy McGregor, for your extended subscription. Thank you so much. And guys, listen, thank you to all you subscribers. It is really important that I do subscribers videos because literally the other night when everything was going bonkers, I did a video and I forgot to press the subscribers only thing. That video got uploaded and it got disqualified straight away. If I put them up as a subscribers only video, because that's for a private community, that doesn't go through the same checks and balances as a normal video would. But yeah, I do think we're seeing the beginning of the end to the to whatever we want to call about, whatever you want to say about Iran, whether you think that Iran is a great country, whether you think Iran is a totalitarian regime, whatever you think, I do think that is coming to an end. Sean, so what shines are we looking about for? So we hang on. Sean, what signs should we look for to know when to start bunkering down? My kids will be staying here. I think this fuel. So we need to be clear, guys. Okay, there's two conflicts here. There's the conflict in Europe, which the United Kingdom is taking the lead role in. And then there's the conflict in the Middle East that the United States will be taking the lead role in. So there's two conflicts here, guys. They are going to be separated. Now, again, this is because of lessons learned in 2003 with the conflicts in Iraq and the conflicts in Afghanistan. Rather than divide your troops and double the bad guys who want to attack you, you're keeping what the Anglosphere is doing now is they're keeping their troops consolidated by the United States focusing on the Middle East, the United Kingdom taking the lead role in Europe. They're consolidating those forces. They're keeping those forces today. And guys, look, let's be clear. The United States do not need anyone to help them. They don't. In fact, I would argue that if you try and help the United States, all you're doing really is slowing them down with bureaucracy. So the United States don't need anyone to help them. It's better for the United States if nobody helps them. They've got the biggest air force. They've got the second biggest air force. They've got the biggest military, the baddest equipment. Nobody can attack them. The United States, guys, they're the boss. People say, oh, but America, no, stop. They are the best, guys. There's no one that comes close. No one comes close to them in scale, in size, in capacity. Yeah, but signs to look out for here in the United Kingdom. We need to look out for this rhetoric building back up for the war in Ukraine. But remember, we're going to be like here in the United Kingdom. We're going to have a dual pronged conflict zone this summer. Because on the streets of the United Kingdom, we're already starting to see the sparks of this. We're going to have the summer of carnage. We're going to have riots, protests, counter-protests, all sorts of crazy stuff happening on the streets. The main thing to look out for, though, guys, I don't think this is going to be in full swing until the 6 weeks holidays. I just don't see it. Yes, there may be limited skirmishes, like potentially on the 4th of July, but the main event, the main movement, the main protests and riots is going to be the 6 weeks holidays. Kids are off school. Parents are off school. A lot of stress inward on the families, and that's when that's going to happen. Right, I'm just jumping over to YouTube. Damzi Levkins or something with a lot. I think he just went like that for his name. He's saying good morning, Sean. I'm again saying good morning back. Adam Carrigan over on YouTube. Good morning to you, buddy. Claire is saying, if Iran had nothing to hide, then why didn't they comply? Also, there was an earthquake in Iran today. Was it nuclear testing or an earthquake? So this has happened a few times now, guys. First of all, I'll be quite clear. I don't know what's happening underground in Iran, but this has happened before. I think it happened last year sometime, or maybe the year before, when there was a huge earthquake on seismographs detected underneath Iran, and people were saying, was it an earthquake? Was it an earthquake? Or was it an underground nuclear test? Right now, guys, I don't know. I would say, but let's just say things that I've said previously. Most of Iran's nuclear capability will be deep underground. There isn't any likelihood that Iran, right next door to Iraq, will have watched the 2003 air assault by the coalition into Iraq and thought, oh yeah, do you know what? Yeah, as Iran, we can defend against this. Do you know what? Because nobody can defend against the US Air Force. Nobody can defend against the US Navy. So why would you even bother? But do you know what you can do? You cannot have that battle. So you can take that battle underground where those aircraft are irrelevant, which is like what I would speculate the Iranians have done. So it would make sense if that was a nuclear test. But again, time will tell. Max is saying sponsors like conservative friends of Israel and Labour friends of Israel, political lobbyists, in fact, anything that financially sponsors the government other than citizens is all too corrupt. Do you know what? I would agree with that as well. Anything that sponsors the government, anybody that donates to the government. Here in the United Kingdom, we have a big problem. I didn't actually realise how big this problem was, but like so many like donors in British politics, like there's no such thing as a donor, guys. There's no such thing as a donor. If you donate to somebody, you're paying them. If you take money, if you're paid by someone, guess what? Guess what, sweet cheeks? You work for them. So you know, yeah. Oh, sorry, I've got. He's popped up on my ex. Hang on, I'm just gonna. I can't watch that. Oh, and there's a Malin warrior. Hang on, Belgian Malin warrior in action. God, those dogs are fantastic. He's running up a wall. He's running up a wall. He's running up a wall 5 meters. So a Belgian Malinois just ran up a wall 5 meters to grab a bag. Those things are fantastic. They're just absolutely beautiful. Anyway, guys, sorry, I digress. But yeah, politics in the United Kingdom, it's just insane. So remember, look who Lord Ali works for, his previous connections, how he got his money, and then question yourself, think, does he still work for them? Is there somebody behind the scenes controlling this? I don't know, guys. These are open questions that you guys are going to have to answer to for yourselves. Rian G is saying, hello, Sean, good morning. I'm saying right back to you, buddy. Good morning. Sadiq Khan, oh, hang on. So from now here over on YouTube is saying Sadiq Khan is preventing a London grooming gangs inquiry. You know what? I am going to come on to this grooming gangs inquiry in a minute, guys. I'm going to come on to this grooming gangs inquiry in a minute. If you're listening from the United States or from another country, wow, how would I explain this? How do you even explain this? How do you even explain this, like, to people who do not live in the United Kingdom? And do you know what really gets me, guys? Do you know what really gets me each and every time I see this? Each and every time I see this, I mean, I was reading about the girl from Blackpool, Charlene, what's her name? I feel ashamed I forgot her name. Hang on. Sorry, guys. I sent it to myself in an email. No, I didn't. Hang on. Charlene Downs. Charlene Downs, guys. Like, if you want to feel physically sick, guys, if you want to feel physically sick, go and Google Charlene Downs. Yeah, if you want to feel physically sick, guys, go and Google Charlene Downs. Now, what always gets me, like, absolutely fascinated, like, you see, like, most weekends when the football's on, these big gangs of tough men, you know, they're storming down the streets and they're being dead hard, and they're wanting to cause trouble, and they're drinking, and they're chanting together, and they've got that sense of unity over a football team. I mean, look, guys, I love playing football. I like all sports, but realistically, you know, if your football team wins, loses, draws, like, again, are they going to help pay your bills? Like, you know, when you go home and and people have spent all their money in the pub, and I know this because I know people who do this, you know, on a Friday or whatever, you go back home and you spent all your money in the pub, and you've shown your support for your football team, and they've kicked the football so hard, and he kicked it so hard, and he was there in his underpants, and he kicked it so hard in the other net, and you all cheered. You know, when you go home and your team's won, do you get your gas bill paid or your council tax? Do they, like, you know, do they help your kids with their homework? Do they say, do you know what, guys, you know, for supporting us, thank you, I'm going to buy all my supporters, I'm going to pay their gas bills. I'm just going to pay all their gas bills. Does something like that happen? Or do they go buy another Ferrari? I don't know, guys. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. So I don't know how that works. But anyway, all these people, these strong British guys who call themselves patriots. But as soon as all this has been happening to our little girls in our communities, and we've heard not a peep from them, guys. Not a peep from them. Anyway, guys, let me get more comments. Let me get quite a few comments. Right. Let me get some comments. Right. I think we was here. Sure. Yeah. So we've done those are the signs to be looking out for, guys, in the United Kingdom. I would say everybody I would say the festivities in the United Kingdom are going to start at the beginning of the 6 week holidays. Tina Elliott saying good morning. Daniel Payne is saying, so you think Israel is regretting this? No, I don't think Israel is regretting this at all. I think Israel wants to pull in. I think Israel wants to. I think by starting this, the United States are going to get dragged in, and then once that happens, the Israelis can sit back and go, here we are. EG News is saying the world is a mess at the moment. Luxford, yes, you called it. I did indeed. Cosmic is saying New World Order. D. Marie is saying life support. Debbie 1973 heard Russians move nukes next to Alaska, and Trump moved 700 Marines to protect Alaskan main port. So I don't think people realize how close Russia and America are in Alaska. There's something called the Bering Strait or Bering Strait. The Bering Strait, is it the Bering Strait? So the Bering Strait, I think it's there's 50 miles between Russia and America. So if you think about going up to Alaska, maybe for you it's that side. If you go up to the northwest tip of Alaska and the northeast tip of Russia, you get the Bering Strait, and I'm not sure what it's called on the Russian side, but then there's a little island in between. It's only 50 miles, and you can actually walk over. In wintertime, you can actually walk over because it's frozen. So yeah, I don't think people understand how close Russia and America actually are. Women, life, freedom. That's my thoughts on Iran. Yeah, so can you imagine living? And again, look, I know when people wear these things on their face, they're supposed to feel empowered, and it's supposed to be an empowering dress for these people. But I'm not convinced, guys. I'm not convinced that it is empowering. My time in the Middle East, I used to live in Baghdad. I worked briefly for about 6 or 7 months in Syria. I didn't see anyone wearing the full garment. Now, yes, the girls wore headscarves, but they had their faces, but they didn't have the whole covering thing. So I would just be curious as to how empowered those girls actually feel. Right, just let me jump up and get these comments. Because guys, listen, when there's lots of comments like this, the chat jumps up and down. It's very difficult for me to get them because it keeps moving. Danny Boy says, Sean, how was your weekend? I got back in the gym on the weekend, guys, and I have lost a bit of gains. So I'm a little bit angry with myself, but I'm building those gains back up. What's the update from Ukraine, Sean? So from Ukraine, guys, they're looking at what's happening in Israel. They're looking at how the Israelis are defending against these drone strikes. They're looking at how the Israelis are defending against these missile strikes, and they're trying to figure out how they can create similar. The situation hasn't gone away. The Russians are still pushing and taking more ground literally every day. Danny Boy is saying about 16 US air tankers seen flying. Yeah, there we go. Right, Danny Boy, thank you so much, buddy. So Danny Boy here is saying about 16. Guys, look, you know how and I've just said this. People right now are just, they're doing these videos and they've got these flash screens behind them with the music, and they're literally just regurgitating what's happening on the news. I'm saying what's coming next. So if you guys can remember on Friday the 13th, when I said this would happen, and for those of you, if you're watching just now, guys, literally scroll down through my videos. I did a video saying weekend warning. This was like last week sometime. The video was the title of the video is Weekend Warning. And what I said on that video is get ready for this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. I'm seeing a lot of global markers. I'm seeing a lot of fingers pointing towards this Friday for a global event. And wow, was we not disappointed? But then on Friday, when we was doing the live stream and we was talking about this, the news article said Israel have used 200 aircraft. Now straight away I was like, right, that's sending alarm bells ringing, because all this information's out there. And the first thing I said was, I don't believe that the Israelis have the capacity to do air-to-air refueling and service 200 aircraft. I just didn't think they had that. And if they did, they don't have it for long. Because don't forget, the flight path from Israel to Iran is a long way. And then to get back, it's a long way. So they're going to need air-to-air refueling. And that's it. That's considering they don't have to fly around and do some evasive movements, which burn fuel. So Danny Boy here is saying the US about 16, in fact, let me pin that again because it came down, I was waffling. Pin. About 16 US air tankers seen flying east on flight tracker over the weekend. So if this is true, that would be in line with what I said. The United States are sending air support down there by the means of air-to-air refueling. Now, I would speculate that these air-to-air refueling tankers are somewhere over Saudi Arabia. The Israelis leave. They rendezvous with these air-to-air refueling tankers over Saudi Arabia. Remember the relationships between Trump and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. Hey, we're good, guys. We're going to talk. I'm going to, do you know what? If you let me use your airspace unimpeded, what I'll do is I'll make sure a couple of those bombs are dropped on the Iranian gas and oil facilities. That means you guys are going to be the only game in town, and you're going to make a ton of money. I don't know. Maybe that conversation happened. Maybe it didn't. Who knows? But in that context, guys, this is what I've been saying. If I was the Iranians, I would go after these air-to-air refueling tankers. Now, it's fair to say if the United States are saying they're not getting involved, then any air-to-air refueling tanker would be fair game. I think this is going to happen by accident, guys. I think one of those air-to-air refueling tankers is going to get taken out. In that scenario, then Donald Trump is going to say, like he said before, President Trump said he will. Sorry, no, he didn't. He said, the United States will retaliate at levels never seen before if we're attacked by Iran. So there you have it, guys. You can see how the game is set now, and it's only a matter of time before a US military asset is unfortunately struck. Joe Massey Poe is saying, evening, Sean, do you think the use of tactical nukes will be... No, I don't, guys. I don't think tactical nukes... I think there's bigger reasons why the use of nuclear weapons hasn't happened so far, guys. You know, I'm not going to get into it now, but it's my thoughts on why nuclear weapons have not been used. It's wild, ladies and gentlemen. It is wild. But yeah, I may be wrong. I hope. Do you know what, guys? This is how wild is this? How wild is this statement? I hope, for all the right reasons, that I'm wrong about why tactical nuclear weapons are not being used. I'm just going to leave it there, guys. Or any nuclear weapons being used. I'm just going to leave it there, but I hope I am wrong for all the right reasons. Just had my heating oil delivered to dry. Yeah, right. Okay. So here we are, guys. Real world information. This, guys. This is why I love this channel. I love coming on and doing the live streams, because we get real time information. So D Marie Gen X has said, just had my heating oil delivered. Driver said it's busier than the lockdowns. So there we can understand, guys, what people understand now, that if this is happening in the Middle East, they kind of need to buy their oil right now because it's going to be cheaper now than it is in whenever. Right, let me. Tina0511 is saying, morning all. Good morning to you, Tina. Daniel Payne is saying Iran want to withdraw from the nuclear treaty. So Iran can withdraw from the nuclear treaty. They don't need anyone's permission to let them withdraw. So if Iran are saying they want to withdraw from the nuclear treaty, it means they've withdrawn. April is saying, put me on and I will tell people. There's more stories than that, Sean, based on the gangs. Right, guys, listen, I am going to come on to the gangs in a moment once I've got down to all these comments. Listen, I'll be quite clear. I don't see a scenario where this government actually holds a real inquiry into what happened with the grooming gang. I just don't see it, guys. D-Marie Gen X is saying, I'm curious about Pakistan, Sean. Where will they stand with Iran? I know they're Iranian partners. So the Pakistanis yesterday, or in fact, I don't know, it wasn't yesterday. I think it was Friday or something. In fact, it might have been Saturday, I'm not sure. I think it was Saturday night or Saturday in the daytime, and I reported it on the nighttime. But basically, the Minister of Defense in Pakistan has come out and he has said that the Muslim nations need to unite against Israel or they will be next. So you can understand now these lines in the sand are being drawn. The lines in the sand are being communicated to everyone, which would mean that India would be on, I guess we can call it the blue team. And again, I know I shouldn't talk like that, but that's kind of what we're doing at the moment. So Priv Caro is saying, I did not understand till now how much the Middle East could affect us. Heard it, but didn't realize. Yeah, guys, look, and like everything in the world rotates around the price of oil. So just think about, first of all, you like your car. Like if you've got a internal combustion engine or a diesel engine, you drive to work and you do your stuff and you get fuel from the petrol station, which downstream is crude oil pulled out of the ground at some point, from somewhere. Now, if that price goes up, guess what? Your price at the pump goes up. But that's not where it stops, guys, okay? That's not where it stops. Because then, if you're a delivery driver and you're a haulage company, for example, and let's just say that you are a haulage company and you get things from Felixstowe and you deliver them to, I don't know, Newcastle. That trip will take X amount of diesel. If that price goes up, guess what? Your price goes up. So now, rather than me charging, I don't know, like 1,000, I don't know, 100 quid, rather than me charging 100 quid, if my price goes up, my fuel price goes up, I've got to put my prices up because it's costing me more. So then the goods, when they get to the consumer, that price has gone up because they've had to pay more for the transport. Now, that's just a really simple way of explaining it. But don't forget, people will be price gouging. So I'm a haulage company now, and I'm like a bit of a dodgy one. And I'm like, right, my prices have gone up 2%. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my prices up 5% and just blame the oil price, and I'll get away with it. So you see how this affects things disproportionately. And then the supermarkets, they're the same. They're like, well, my price has gone up 5%. Well, I'm going to put it up 10% and blame the fuel increase. So you see where we're going through this, guys. Also, ships, aircraft, they all operate on fossil fuels, guys. So all those prices are going up. Tracy McGregor, I heard Zelensky is worried about the US support being given to Israel. Oh, yeah. So, Tracy McGregor, look, guys, nobody in Ukraine is under any illusion that the Americans are going to pull out and leave them to dry. Everybody knows that's happening, guys. Everybody knows that is a thing. Everybody I speak to in Ukraine, they all know this. Maybe I think Zelensky he's just singing a swan song. He knows what's happening. Danny Boy, British sending air support to the Middle East as well as Cyprus and other Middle Eastern bases. Guys, look, I do not see any circumstances where Britain is actively involved in this conflict in the Middle East. Sean, I'll send you something over in a bit. Thank you, EG News. It's disgusting what I've just seen. I can only imagine it's about the gangs. Right, Pink Lady is saying we're frozen, and that must be on your screen, Pink Lady, because other people are saying we're fine. Tap the screen, guys, it's free, says Caring. Tapping the screen is free. Like so many things in life, ladies and gentlemen, the best things in life are free. Priv Caro, don't all of this buy Putin time? Yes, it does. It buys Putin time. Listen, I would speculate, and obviously I don't know what happens behind the scenes. I don't know what happens when people are talking in these offices, but I reckon something like this conversation happened. And again, this is just my thoughts, my opinions. I'm not saying this happened. I'm saying this is what I think something may have happened. Vladimir, we really need you to stop this war in Ukraine. We need you to stop this senseless war in Ukraine. But Donald, you are about to have war in Middle East. What do you mean? Well, how about this then, Vladimir? How about the United States won't get involved in Eastern Europe, and you don't get involved in the Middle East? Okay, Donald, that sounds like a good proposal. When will you make this happen? Well, I don't know. I'm going to have to ask Peavy and see what he says. Okay, Donald, let me know what happened and I will speak to you this Friday. You still going out with wife? Yeah, we're still going out. We're having a real great time. How about you? Yes, of course. I have many wives and they know about each other, but I'm Vladimir Putin. I do what I want. That's a great thing. That's a great thing. I can't do anything here. The press is all over my ass. Yes, you have a big problem with free person America. But you see how the conversation's going, guys. You see how the conversation's going. I would speculate something like that happened, where behind the scenes they've had some sort of an agreement where they're not going to get involved, and you're seeing these diversions. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, the United States are going to focus on the Middle East, and the United Kingdom have now taken the lead in Ukraine. That is happening, guys. I'm not changing my tune on that, and I'm not coming up with this conundrum right now and telling you that this is all just happening now. I've been saying this for years, literally at least a year. I've been saying very didactically what's happening. Right, let me get some of these comments. Right, I'm going to come on to, in fact, I'm going to come on to YouTube now, guys. Jamie LUFC is saying Leeds players went litter picking. How much litter did they pick up? Were they in their football kits? John Giles is saying you are not wrong. It's a joke. How much passion UK men have for football over our women and kids. Do you know what? I'm going to pin that there. Yeah, listen, John Giles is saying, I'm just going to repeat that again, guys. If you're watching, I don't know if you're watching on YouTube or TikTok, but over on YouTube, John Giles is saying, you are not wrong. It's a joke. How much passion UK men have for football over our women and kids. And it winds me up something rotten, guys. If 5% of that passion could be put into protecting our own children, we wouldn't be facing these problems that we are now. From Now is saying, did you see on YouTube Ukrainian soldiers are cutting fiber optic drones with scissors in mid-flight? It's madness. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys know or not, but the evolution of drone warfare in Ukraine has transcended. I'm trying to look for a piece of wire. I can't find it. In fact, I'll do. Into such that now, rather than using radio to communicate with these drones, they're using fiber optic cable to fly with. If you're using fiber optic cable, you can't be hacked. Now, this started by using the fly-by-wire. Guys, listen, I don't know if anybody's ex-military here, but in the military, they used to have something called the Milan. Now, that was an anti-tank weapon. And what that used to do is you had a 2-kilometer piece of wire attached to that Milan, and you could move it around as you fired it. It's been replaced now by the javelin. But basically, what they did is they got that wire, for the missile, and they attached it to a drone, and they found out that they could operate the drone on a wire. So now these drones are fly-by-wire, and as From Now is saying that in Ukraine, the Ukrainian soldiers are just cutting these wires with pieces of scissors. Happy Kido 82 is saying over 30 refuelers now. Some arrived in Europe, Mediterranean, some departing the US. Right, guys, listen, what did I say? What did I say on Friday? Literally, guys, on Friday, I said that this would happen. I'm not going to repeat it because I just repeated it, but this is the next thing to come, ladies and gentlemen. This is the next thing to come. One of these air-to-air refueling aircraft is going to get taken down. The Americans are going to react, and that is going to be a dilly swizzle. Everybody's going to be up in flames. Donald Trump's you're going to probably see Donald Trump with like a bomber jacket on and like some green fatigues cutting around. And there we go, guys. That is literally it. Jamie over on YouTube is saying aliens don't allow nukes. Listen, I wouldn't disagree with Jamie. My theory onto why nuclear weapons have not been used is absolutely wild. Israel attack on Iran is a biblical prophecy. And Harvey Ellis, if either nation takes out one of their leaders, do you think we could see an ignition of World War One? Look, guys, I believe that we're already in a world war. Like, the definition of a world war is multiple countries fighting in multiple locations. It doesn't say, like, nowhere in the definition of a world war does it say that BBC have to come up and say, we are now officially in the stage of World War III. We have now conducted the first phase of World War III. Like, that's never going to happen. Even in the First World War, guys, nobody called it the First World War. The Second World War, nobody called it World War II until it was over. And what we're in now, guys, you know, they will give a timeline for it. They will give a date when it started. I think they'll say it was started in 2022. But you know what, guys? Who actually knows? Maybe they'll wait until the United States are actively involved in this. I genuinely don't know, but I do believe we're in it now. Remember, like, it could be argued. So UK Prepper over here, guys, he's just put, I wonder if Starmer will put on a bomber jacket. Oh, guys, yeah, maybe he will. Maybe Starmer, maybe you're going to, like, can you imagine? See, do you know what? I'm going to use AI. Let me see if I can get a grok image of this. Let me just see if I can get a grok image of this. Draw me here in a So I've just put, draw me Keir Starmer in a military bomber jacket with mirrored aviators. I'm just waiting for it to come up because this is, oh, it's coming. Oh, that's fantastic. Wow, right. That is absolutely phenomenal. Right, guys, listen, I want you guys to see this. I'm going to try and print this. Print. Guys, I've got to print this. This is fantastic. I've got to show you this. Oh, it's not letting me print from Grok. Oh, won't let me print. Yeah, guys, sorry, I had to do that. Sorry, I digress. We've got to keep it serious, guys. We've got to keep it serious. But yeah, just do a little, guys, go on to Grok or whatever AI you use and get Grok to draw you a picture of Keir Starmer in a military bomber jacket with mirrored aviators. It's fantastic. But yeah, Keir Starmer apparently he's not wearing a bomber jacket. Starmer and Harvey Willis is saying Starmer will have a red wig on with white makeup and long red clown shoes. And Angela Rayner coming behind him saying, no, Keir, if we make it right hard for employers to employ people, they're bound to raise wages and employ more people. It's the only solution. Right, sorry guys, I'm digressing there. I'm digressing into madness. Right, let me jump up. But yeah, Privkar, I do think this is buying Putin time. Yes. Danny boy, that came from Rachel Reeves in an interview saying it's just to protect bases. Yeah, I do think it is genuinely just to protect bases. Obviously the United Kingdom are not going to get involved in this conflict in the Middle East, but they do have a duty of care to protect their own bases. Under the radar, though, I do think there's, of course, going to be collaboration with the US and the UK, not least by the use of RAF Akatere. UK MTO now increased electronic interference on Gulf and Strait of Hormuz impacting vessels. Okay, so there's increased activity in the Strait of Hormuz, saying Di Marie. Thomas Vale is saying Iran has tricked the Iron Dome, its new breach after firing on itself. Anyone else heard this? So the Iron Dome, guys, it's a fantastic system, but I don't think it was built. I don't think it was built to deal with these long-range ballistic missiles. I just don't think it can deal with the speed and ferocity that these things come down, guys. I just don't think it can deal with them. Let me unpin that. Did you see about this underwater volcano about to blow and cause 10,000 earthquakes worldwide? Di Marie, yes, I did. So apparently, I think it's in the Pacific. I think it's like, is it 400 miles off the US coast? There's a huge underwater volcano, and all the scientists are saying, listen, guys, this thing's about to pop literally any day now. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to go, because it's all down to your tectonic plates, how that volcano, what actually happens after that volcano. Some people are saying huge tsunami. Some people are saying it's going to cause other volcanoes. I genuinely don't know. I'm not a volcanist, but I do know that I have heard about this volcano ready to erupt off the coast of the US. Danny Boy is saying, what you want to do with that? I don't, oh, right, yeah, guys, I don't know if you use X, just go onto Grok, it can draw you pictures and stuff. I know you said your theory was wild about nuclear weapons, but would love to hear it. Tracy McGregor, over on YouTube, we just talked about it, okay? Look, guys, my theory on nuclear weapons is this. There are lots of documented, cases from the United States, from Rendlesham Forest, lots of documented cases about UFOs being seen near nuclear sites. There was one particular case in America I think in 1969, where they saw something flying outside this nuclear missile silo, and all the nuclear missiles were turned off. So if we cast our minds back to 2000, and I think it was last year, when the Ukrainians went into the Kursk region of Russia, that was literally a textbook time that Vladimir Putin could have used a nuclear weapon. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. Why? I don't know, guys. I'm just going to say that there are lots of suspicious things involving UFOs, things seen around nuclear sites, and I just think that I just don't think it's ever going to happen again, guys. I just don't think it's ever going to happen again. And April saying, just to cheer everyone up, it's going to be warm this weekend. I read this morning that Iranian missiles did get through the Iron Dome. Yeah, guys, look, I don't think the Iron Dome is capable of defending against these long sustained attacks. These long sustained attacks that are hitting Israel, but these attacks are going to slow down, because as we move forwards, the aircraft need servicing. The aircraft needs servicing. That's the main thing. These missiles that are being fired, they don't have an unlimited supply of those things. So what I would speculate is going to happen is there's going to be a slowdown, and then it's just going to be, in the military, it would be, it would be a deliberate rate. Right, guys, I'm going to come on to some things now from the UK. I want to talk about this, gangs thing. You know, the thing that we're not supposed to talk about because it's icky. Well, do you know what, guys? We've got two little girls, and they're 11 and 12-year-old, and I can't imagine the things that have happened in the United Kingdom, and I am genuinely ashamed that this has happened in my country. Starmer in full retreat over grooming gangs after U-turn inquiry. He orders probe by Britain's FBI. I don't know why they're saying Britain's FBI. Like, we don't have an FBI. We've been a country a lot longer than the United States. Keir Starmer was in full retreat over the gangs last night as he called for an investigation. The Prime Minister was scrambling to appear decisive after restraining action on the scandal for months. So Keir Starmer had accused those campaigning for a public inquiry into the scandal of abuse of thousands of girls by gangs of mainly Pakistani heritage men jumping on a far-right bandwagon. So what is it, guys? If you so just conceptualize this. Let's listen. Let's just dissect those words. If you are against those gangs, if you're against them, you're far right. So would that mean far left are pro? You see where I'm going, guys? It's the language here is very peculiar when you dissect this language. But in a dramatic U-turn at the weekend, he finally admitted a national inquiry was needed. And last night, the Home Office announced an investigation by the National Crime Agency. Guys, look. It's good news, but I don't think it's ever going to see light of day, guys. I do not believe it's ever going to see the light of day. I just don't think it's going to materialize. You know, I think what will happen is there'll be problems with we can't find somebody to head it up. We found someone to head it up. Oh, they've retired now. Oh, there's a problem with funding. Oh, there's a problem with this. Oh, there's a problem with something else. Oh, we can't speak to these people. It's going to take forever. It's never going to come out, guys. It can't come out, because if it comes out, I think, well, I'm not going to say what I think because I don't want to get the live ban, but you can probably assume what I'm thinking. But guys, it's absolutely insane. Like, and I'll go back to what I said earlier on in this live stream. If you're a man in this country, if you're a man, right, anywhere, and you get more passionate about your local football team than your own kids, I think you need to take a really long look in the mirror and just go and read some books on masculinity, all right? Because it fascinates me. Like, I can remember years ago when I was still in the army. I'd come home on leave, and I think Rotherham were playing. Sheffield United. It's shut down now, but there was a pub in Rotherham called I can't remember what it was called. It was Wetherspoons, basically. And I went in there with my mate, and the whole pub had been absolutely trashed. At one side, there was these men who they're normally friends. They normally drink together. The pub was split in two. And there was one side, and they were getting dead aggressive, shouting, throwing things. And the other side were obviously the Sheffield United side. It was Rotherham versus Sheffield United. And it was carnage in there, guys. These two, they were so furious and passionate about their football teams. They weren't bothered. So I walked in, me and my mate. I just looked at them. I looked at both sides, and I just went into the middle and got myself a drink. They were still throwing things, but I was like, right, this is so childish. And now I look back, because that was like mid-noughties, so like maybe 2001, 2, 3 or something. And I can think what was happening in that town at that time, right there. In that town at that time, and you've got all these men who are getting really passionate about other men kicking little bags of wind into a net and kicking it hard. It just honestly, it genuinely fascinates me, guys. It genuinely fascinates me. Absolutely fascinates me. Anyway, let me come on to these comments. Where are we? Right, I read this morning. Yeah, so we've done that one. Okay. So April is saying, in fact, you know what, April? I'm not going to repeat what you've just commented. I'll pin it, but I'm not going to repeat that because I don't want unnecessary attention onto you. So I'll just pin it for the people in the chat. So Tracy McGregor is saying, how dare he accuse people of being far right, wanting to protect your children? So you see what I mean, don't you guys? Like, if like Keir Starmer's now, well, where is it? Let me read it again. So Keir Starmer has, let me read it. Let me read it. Yeah. So Keir, where is it? So Keir Starmer accused those campaigning for a public inquiry into the abuse scandal of thousands of girls. But guys, listen, I'm reading this from the Daily Mail, all right? I'm reading this from this morning's Daily Mail, okay? So, and if you're not in the United Kingdom, the Daily Mail is it's a large mainstream media tabloid. It's a large tabloid. So I'm just reading this off the front page of the Daily Mail, guys, okay? Keir Starmer accused those campaigning for a public inquiry into the scandal of abuse of thousands of girls by gangs of mainly Pakistani heritage men of jumping on a far-right bandwagon. So again, I'll just say what I just said before. If you want, is that it now? If you want to protect your children, that's a trope of the far right. So would it be fair to say a trope of the far left is you don't want to protect your children? It's just absolutely unbelievable, guys. It's unbelievable. But yeah, Tracy McGregor is saying, how dare they accuse of us being far right, wanting to protect our children? So do we all have to be liberals and like, go on, have me kids, have me kids. I'm woke. April, in fact, Dee Marie is saying, stocked up Saturday, wine, beer, lot filled with the fridge, ready for summer. Linda Lou is saying, we are now going to see yeah, exactly. This is like, Linda Lou, this is what yes, like, this is how absurd it is right now. If you look at the language and you ask, you ask logical questions, right, okay, you are wanting this and you're saying that you are saying that people are far right for wanting this. Okay, so does that mean that people who are far left are wanting the opposite? And people say we should let sleeping dogs lie. Absolutely not. We should wake those dogs up. Right, okay, jump down. Priv Carol, I think they want people to look away. Yes, I do think they want, Priv Carol. Listen, Priv Carol's in Norway and even she understands it. I think they want people to look away. They don't have to spend money on putting them in jail. Yeah, I mean, look, guys, let's not forget, we have the trials of Ricky Jones and the two gentlemen who allegedly, in fact, I think Ricky Jones is pretty soon. Let me just Google this. When is this here? So he's denied it. 57-year-old denies. Sorry, no, it's not. It's 7th of August. In fact, hang on, it might not be. Hang on, it might not be. No, it's not. No, it's not. That's not when the trial is. Oh, does it tell you when the trial is? Oh, that's weird. All right, so that's maybe I should just put trial date rather than trial. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to find when this actual trial is. Ricky Jones. Right, okay. Right, okay. Jones' trial has been set to start. It's been delayed until the 11th of August. So that's been delayed until the 11th of August. So that's going to be right in the middle of the 6 weeks holidays. So again, like, you've got to understand the dates of these trials. Like, people are going to be off school, people are going to be off work, people are going to be watching and seeing what's happening. They're going, oh, remember that Ricky Jones who said, said this stuff? Well, he, it's his trial now, and people are going to be watching. And if this guy gets less than 2 years, 7 months in jail, which is what Lucy Conley got for a tweet. And I mean, let's contextualize it. Lucy Conley, she's got you've got to understand her history and what she was going through at that time. She does a tweet. She makes a tweet. 2 years, 7 months in jail. Ricky Jones is out on the streets saying things that I'm not going to repeat because it'll get the live banned. All right. So he has to get more than 7 years, 2 years, 7 months. Otherwise, we don't have a fair system. Also, we've got the trial of the two gentlemen. That is this year. That is this month. Sorry. Where is that? So that's definitely this month. I can remember that. Where is it? Following the incident in July. You see how it's taking like a year for these people to get to court. Where is it? I'm pretty sure this is this month. Just scrolling down. Right, I can't find it. I'm pretty convinced it's this month, and the sentencing is going to be, and it's going to take 3 weeks, and then the trial's scheduled for 3 weeks. But again, that's going to bring us right into prime summer of carnage time, where people are just going to be angry, guys. People are going to be angry about what's happening. Oh, hang on. Right, I think for some reason, guys, am I still streaming on YouTube? Because I've got a countdown. I don't know if I'm still streaming on YouTube or not. I don't know if I'm still streaming on. Oh, yes, I am. All right. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is the direction of travel we are going to at this time. It does look like with the United States or open source media reporting that there's a lot of these potential air-to-air refueling craft going to the Middle East. If they are actively involved in this conflict, it raises the risk profile of one of those being shot down. And then Donald Trump is saying literally, he's gonna. Well, I'll tell you exactly what he's saying. The United States will retaliate at levels never seen before if attacked by Iran. Guys, I think this is going to happen by accident. I think one of these air-to-air refuels is going to come down, guys. If you think about Murphy's Law, whatever can happen will happen. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Right, guys, I'm going to close down. I'm going to close down TikTok. I'm then going to answer some questions on YouTube. Guys, listen, I will be back tonight at 8 o'clock, so do not miss it. Tonight at 8 o'clock. And also, ladies and gentlemen, if you're on TikTok and you've not followed, make sure you follow so I can keep you guys updated to what's happening next. Right, I think we're off on TikTok, and I have just got your undivided attention on, I've got undivided attention now on YouTube. So let's just get these comments. Right, can anyone put me in the direction of some really good long-range walkie-talkies, says Alex Reed. I wouldn't know. I used to use Motorola ones, but they're relatively expensive. I think any walkie-talkies work. You can spend a lot of money on two-way radios. Gabby Ritchie, did you hear about Ukrainian striking an airbase on Russia where they hold nuclear weapons? Yes, there's lots of reports of this. Nuclear weapons can be held anywhere, basically. The conflict in Ukraine has tied down the Russians. So the Russians cannot go and assist anyone now. The Russians can't help anyone. It just can't work like that. So that conflict, it's tied down the Russians. The Russian need all their air defenses. So that's kind of why that thing's happening. What have we got here? Have you seen the riots in Northern Ireland and Ballymena, says John Anderson? Yeah, we've seen those riots, and this is just a precursor to the summer of carnage that is on its way to the United Kingdom, guys. I really do believe that's coming. And then Harvey Ellis is saying August the 11th. What, Harvey Ellis, are you still on? What's August the 11th, buddy? What is August the 11th? Is that one of the trials? Is that Ricky Jones's trial? I think that must be Ricky Jones's trial, because I know the other trial is before that. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to close this down now, but if you've not done so already, can you please hit those buttons below, the like, the follow, the subscribe, the bell notification, share my stuff on social media if you think it's relevant. Remember, like I just said earlier on TikTok, guys, the next thing to watch for is a US military asset being hit by something from Iran. Maybe it's going to be a false flag, maybe it's going to be a real world scenario. I don't know. The perception is all that really matters. Anyway, guys, I'll be back on tonight at 8. I'll see you guys later.